What's up, YouTube?
We're live
I'm coming back with another video of me playing Miami. Feel me? Yes, they are, man.
The Heat trying to
What's
take
up,
advantage
though?
of their home
What's
court in this one
good?
before leaving Miami.
Make sure
Still
you hit that
early in
like
the
and
season, but the
subscribe
front office
button.
and coaching staff likes what they are seeing.
You know, this is a new thing on
Cole
PS4,
Aldrich, he's checked in for Whiteside. Johnson comes in for Luol Deng. Winslow's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And Freak subbed in for Goran Dragic. Then for the Celtics, Olynyk is checked in for Tyler Zeller. Sullinger comes in for David Lee. And Smart subbed in for Avery Bradley. On the floor for Boston, the big men are Sullinger and Olynyk. Smart is out there with Thomas. And it's Crowder in at the 3 slot. Thomas a screen. Now here's Smart. He's guarded closely. And he drops it in from the low post.
Guys, that time he went for the fancy finish for us there, man. That was sweet.
And here's Freak. 11 points for him in that last game against Utah. Five on the clock. The Heat need to get a shot off. And here's Bosch for 3. Good. Bosch has got 9.
Shots are just flowing for him right now, having a really strong quarter.
Let's send it out to DB, who caught up with head coach Brad Stevens. Doris?
One player he said they can't overlook is Chris Bosch. He said Bosch is the perfect complementary scorer. He can hit the spot up J and also really crash the offensive boards. We simply can't get so caught up elsewhere that we allow him to have a big night. And Kevin at 6'11", Bosch really an anchor in that front court. When he plays well, they're tough to beat.
Thanks a lot, Doris. And it's Freak missing.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backcourt. And the trend they love to continue right through the next 3 quarters as well, Greg.
Thomas's shot is off.
Well, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
Drops it in from the wing. That one from McDaniel. Freak's got his first points of the night. Last game for Boston, they picked up the W against New York.
And they may have been on the road, but you know what? They nullified any home court disadvantage in that game by how well they shot it from 3. Shooting can always be a great equalizer. I mean, when you shoot like that from outside, it really makes winning on the road a lot easier. Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
Bosch misses. Boston trailing. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Crowder with it. Now guarded by Winslow. No problem knocking that one down. Smart's got 5 points so far.
And he's really been working to get those looks, and it's starting to pay off here early on.
Here's McDaniel. And he didn't get quite enough under that one. Here's Crowder. Good, and Smart gets the assist. Crowder's got his first points in this one.
Give it up for Johnson.
Up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. When you consider the Heat going with the whole new group on the floor. Some changes for Boston. Celtics leading by 7. McDaniel, he's in at point guard. Cole Aldrich is out there with Chris Bosch. Then it's Johnson, and it's Winslow in at the 2. That's the group on the floor for Miami. Crawford kicks to Olynyk. There's the feed to Thomas. And the baseline jumper, no good.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
And out of bounds as the Celtics gain possession.
And now let's take a look at the stats for Thomas. He had a strong showing last season. 3rd in steals, and he ranked in the top 15 in points per game. One of the league's premier offensive threats.
And just like you said, he sported some of the quickest hands in the league last year. He was consistently all over the basketball.
And yes, sir, that one drops.
And those are 2 teammates right there working in rhythm. One setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation.
Inside 2 minutes.
Here's McDaniel. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. This break in the game gives us a chance to look at the teams with the most points off turnovers last season. Number 1, the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, the best in the league at forcing those miscues and then capitalizing at the other end. Their defense led to their offense.
And both free throws good from Freak.
And working, Kevin, themselves to the line here in the second. A nice way to get your offense going.
And maybe cause some foul trouble along the way as well. And we know what that can do. It pays off typically in good fashion for you. That's their third straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
He feeds it to Bosch. Goes straight through the defender for the dunk. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. It's on Jared Sullinger.
And he just big boyed it right there. The height advantage.
He got a pipe that thing, boy. Look at Bosch getting big, boy. I got this shit. Oh, pass it. Bosch, look at him. Look at them arms. Look at the arm.
He's got down low. Really difficult for them to defend.
And taking a quick look here, guys, at the hustle stats for Boston.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnover.
You know, adding on to that, they've done a great job of challenging and changing shots in this first half, and they've gotten some blocks as well.
Thomas's shot is off.
He just has not been able to get into that groove yet, guys, but as a whole, it hasn't affected them too much.
Now here's Freak. He's guarded by Thomas. Now Freak. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot two. It's on Isaiah Thomas.
Wow, he got whacked on that, which shouldn't be much debate there.
Blatant contact. Straightforward call. Simple.
And both free throws good from Freak. Austin with the ball. And at home for the next game, it'll be Detroit pulling into town to start a 3-game homestand with that game. 51 seconds. Seconds left now here in the second. Outside Thomas. Shot clock at 6. Sullinger. Good, and the assist goes to Thomas. Thomas got assist number 5 here tonight.
They're perfectly content to keep going to that mid-range jumper. If the defense is going to give it to them, they'll take it all day.
And it's about getting open looks, and they've used that shot with great effect here tonight.
And it's Freak missing. About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. Pass to Crowder. Tries from 10. Rebound by the Heat. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
Yeah, the confidence just exuding in that performance on the offensive end. I mean, really illustrates how this team clicks when guys are communicating and executing as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, roadkill is hard to get in this league. I mean, to be a great NBA team, you've got to be able to have that kind of performance on the...
I'm not losing by no 10 points. Got to. You lose. Get out there.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no teams deciding to change it up. A little under 2.5 minutes off the clock now here in the third. On the court right now for the Celtics. The big men are Sullinger and Olynyk. Isaiah Thomas out there was Smart. And it's Barnes in at the small forward position. Here's Olynyk. Hits the three-point bomb. Olynyk's got 5 points so far.
And he came off that screen, and he just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
McDaniel tried to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Here's Thomas. And it's Freak with the rebound.
Well, it's just been one of those kind of games for him.
1:44 left
Come
in
on,
the third
that's
quarter.
supposed to hit.
Miami no good on that time either. Barnes passes to Olynyk.
Cash.
A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. The Heat trail by 7. Winslow dishes to Bayless. Here's McDaniel. Miami no good on that time either.
Can't get anything to drop. I mean, the way he's going, it's probably not something he should try and shoot his way out of.
Well, they say you should shoot your way out of it, but his teammates probably have other thoughts in mind. The last thing they want to see him doing is continuing to cast that jumper up.
It's my jumper, man.
Thomas kicks to Smart. Offside Thomas. Over in the corner, Barnes. The three-pointer, no good. The Heat shooting 33% for the night. That's a big throw on their side right now. McDaniel, the pass to Aldridge. Aldridge gets a screen from McDaniel. Fader on the way, and he gets the bucket. Freak's got 8 points.
Now, that's an old-school move right there. A good one, too, the fadeaway. A chance here to go 2 for 1.
Boy, they've got to ramp up the speed and make it happen in a hurry.
Thomas dishes to Olynyk. Here's Smart. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. He's getting his first free throw attempt of the night right now.
And you know, you'll take what he can give you from a free throw line. Looking at his numbers, just really not one of his strengths. Shooting in the low 60s last season.
You know, guys, when you look at those numbers last year for him, I think it does affect how much you're willing to go after contact because you're a little fearful of getting to the foul line unless you're in the and one situation. Too many trips to the line when you shoot it as poorly as he does actually can hurt you.
And it's Freak missing.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Especially, Greg, when you're scoring the ball at a decent clip the way they have. I mean, they've done exactly what's necessary to take the lead.
His ball distribution tonight just as good as it gets.
Yeah, it sure has been.
Give it up for your Heat dancers.
The fourth quarter just moments away now. For the Heat, Winslow comes in for Luol Deng. And Freak subbed in for Goran Dragic. And then for Boston, Olynyk, he's checked in for Avery Bradley. Sullinger comes in for Crowder. And Smart subbed in for Isaiah Thomas. The big men are Bosch and Whiteside. D-Wade out there with Freak. And it's Winslow in at the 3. The small forward. The group on the 4 for Miami. Lee kicks to Smart. Zeller setting the pick for Smart. Wade brings the double team. Zeller passes to Olynyk. Smart wide open. He fires. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. And the Celtics lead by 15.
And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident-looking performance for the Celtics.
You know, Clark, when you shoot this well from three-point range, you're really hard to stop. The defense didn't rotate out fast enough to stop the hot shooters.
Well, you said it all there, Kevin. They were lethal from behind the arc.
And so with this, they'll end up with their second win on the year.
And asserting themselves right from the start, guys. They'll be taking the front end of a 4-game season series between these two clubs. They've got to feel good getting the upper hand tonight against the Heat.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for Bradley. You can't look back at too many major moments in this game and not see his imprint put all over it. No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
You know, that's a case there, Kevin, of him making a pass to a spot, and then he let his teammate run right into it. Well executed.
Thomas goes in. There's the 3. It's hauled in by the Heat. 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Freak with it. 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
And they're on the kind of run that could have made a difference had it just started a little earlier.
Yeah, but I think the only reason they're on this run is because the defense has relaxed a little bit, knowing the game is basically in the bag.
Outside Thomas.
Freak. That's his second personal foul. Second team foul. At the line for the Heat.
That free throw good from Isaiah Thomas.
At the line for 2.
And both free throws good for Thomas. Here's McDaniel. Basket good.
And you could tell they had that play ready to go. Well done on the inbound.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
All right, let me get some more Skittles.
Welcome back, everybody. Ernie Johnson here along with Shaq and the Avery Bradley. He stepped up his game tonight, getting it done all game long. And that'll do it for this edition of the NBA on 2K Sports. Hope you enjoyed the show. From myself, Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, have a wonderful evening.
Sick, get up. Nah, I'm sick. Sick today. Yeah, fail, man. Bullshit. Ma'am. What you say? He's slow. That's slow. It don't even make sense. You said you want a Q-tip? Don't you dare never do that. Don't talk.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to the NBA on 2K Sports. Excited, thrilled to be here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm so lucky. Tonight's broadcast will feature the Miami Heat as they go up against the Pacers in Indianapolis. For the Pacers, they won their last contest, that game against the Nets at Barclays Center. A terrific underdog win in that last game. They're feeling good, looking to keep it up tonight. Well, the Pacers certainly have the defensive side of the game down pat. Very strong defense for them for several seasons running. The problem, Shaq, the offense. How do they make the most of their possessions?
Well, they don't have the personnel to get out and run, so they need to be very smart, especially when they slow it down. They have to minimize turnovers.
Well, to me, they're better at threes. So they got to give themselves credit